Minnesota's U.S. Senate primary is less than 3 weeks away, and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan and her campaign's allies say it may be one of the most expensive primaries the state party's ever seen when it comes to ads.
It's a primary. This is just record-breaking.
Flanagan's opponent, Congresswoman Angie Craig, has drawn attention for the millions of dollars a political action committee have spent on ads supporting her campaign while criticizing Flanagan's. Flanagan claims that her own campaign's been trying to operate without PAC funding.
Minnesotans are smarter than that, and in particular, Democratic primary voters. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money. My opponent is funded by crypto and APAC and health insurance companies.
The Craig campaign released a statement tonight to us saying in part, quote, hypocrisy has become synonymous with Peggy Flanagan. Rather than debate me on issues and how we're going to stand up to Donald Trump, she looks to impose a litmus test that she herself has failed, unquote. You can read the full statement under this story at KEYC.com.